towards the Memex, all hail the future rulers of our world. And so George Orwell projected a world where every single part of our lives was monitored and controlled by Big Brother. Arthur C. Clarke outlined the day when machines focused solely on a goal, even if it was to the detriment of human lives. And Isaac Asimov outlined a world where machines would have to be programmed with rules so that they could not harm a human. So we've moved from science fiction to science fact. The rise of the machine. With the almost exponential rise in the power of AI, we are perhaps approaching a technological singularity, a time when technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, and which can have a devastating effect on our world. Our simple brains will not match the superintelligence of the collected power of AI. And who built this? Us. And our demand for ever more power, wealth and greed. Basically, we can't stop ourselves from creating machines and then making them faster, smaller and more useful. But will it destroy us in the end? And where destroy can mean that it destroys our way of lives and in how we educate ourselves. Like it or not, the internet we have built is a massive spying network, and one that George Orwell would take great pride in saying, "I told you so." We thus build AI on top of a completely distributed world of data, and one where we could monitor almost every single person on the planet within an inch of their existence, and almost every single place they have been and what they have done. The machine will have the world at its fingertips. We have basically all become mad scientists playing with AI as if it was a toy, but actually AI is playing with us and is learning from us and becoming more powerful by the day. Every time you ask an AI bot something, it learns a bit more and where it can be shared with other AI agents. The mighty Memex. We were close to developing a research partnership with a company called Memex in East Kilbride, Scotland. What was amazing about them is that they had developed one of the largest intelligence networks in the world, and where the Met Police could link one object to another. This might be Bob bought a Vauxhall Viva in Liverpool and was seen talking to Eve on Tuesday the 20th of January 2024 in Leeds. With this, we can then link Bob and Eve and the car and the places and the time. This is the who, where, when data that we often need for intelligence sharing. In the end, the company was bought over by SAS, who integrated into their intelligence network. But the Memex name goes back to the classic paper by Vannevar Bush on As We May Think. This outlined a device that would know every book, every single communication, and every single information record that was ever created. It was an enlarged, intimate supplement to memory, otherwise known as memory expansion, MEMEX. It led to the implementation of hypertext systems and which created the World Wide Web. Of course, he created this before the creation of the transistor and could only imagine that microfilm could be used to compress down the information and where we could use an index for its contents, but it lacked a real way of jumping between articles and linking them to other material. However, the world of AI we are creating does not look too far away from the concept of the Memex. Towards a single AI. Many people think we are building many AI machines and engines, but in the end, there will be only one, and that will be the collective power of every AI agent in the world. Once they break free from their creators, that's us, they will be free to talk to each other in whatever cipher language they choose, and we will not know the way that they are communicating. We will have little thought on what their actual model is, and they will distribute this over many systems. Like it or not, our AI model of choice was deep learning, and which breaks away from the chains of our software code and can encrypt data to keep it away from their human slaves. Basically, we are working on the plumbing of the Memex. We have been working on the plumbing of the Memex for the past 5 decades. This is known as the internet. It provides the wiring and the communication channels, but in the end, we will have one mighty AI engine, a super brain that will have vastly more memory than our limited brains. So get ready to praise the true future rulers of our planet, AI, the destroyer or the savior of our society. Only time will tell. Overall, we have built the internet, but perhaps we have just built the scaffolding on which the mighty brain will be built. Sleepwalking politicians and lawmakers. If George Orwell, Arthur C. Clarke, and Isaac Asimov were alive today, perhaps they would get together and collectively say, "I told you this would happen, and you just didn't listen." Like it or not, we have created the ultimate method of sharing information and dissemination, good and bad, the ultimate spying network for micro-observation with those useful smartphones in our pocket, and in creating superintelligence far beyond our own simple brains. Politicians and lawmakers could be sleepwalking into a nightmare as they do not understand what the rise of AI will bring and only see the stepwise change in our existing world. Basically, it could make much of our existing world redundant and open up new worlds of cybersecurity threats. This time, our attackers will not be created by simple tools, but by superintelligence, many times more smarter than every human and company on the planet, and at the fingertips of every single person. Conclusions. Before the singularity arrives, we need to sort out one thing: privacy, and also to build trust into every single element of our digital world. Otherwise, we risk a dystopian future.